my new recording equipment.
Ah.
Spirit trying to upgrade me.
They trying to upgrade you.
Absolutely. I'm getting up. We're all getting upgrade. Welcome,
I know
welcome.
that's
Come on
right.
in. Come on in. Welcome, Francine. Thank you so much for
Hey,
joining us
Francine.
today. Thank you so much. We're going to just wait for a few more people to come in,
Okay.
and then we'll start the introductions. We're going to stand by for Dana, too.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Oh, I'm going to add her. And yeah, just going to stand by. Thank you for joining us. Uh, we're going to. This is going to be fun. I'm very
Yeah.
interested. I'm gonna learn a lot today as well. So I'm excited about this. This is gonna be very awesome. Dana, how can I put you up to the top? How do I add Dana? Hold on a second. Let me add. Oh, here we go. Yep. Here we go. Did that do it, Dana? Welcome, everyone. Thank you. Welcome. Hi, Dana.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're
Glad to be
gonna
here.
we're gonna wait and have a few more people coming in today. We're here with Third Generation Conjure,
Hey,
and
everybody.
welcome. Come on in. We're gonna just wait a few more seconds to get a few more people in. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Welcome, Lan. We see you there. So, welcome. My name is Sholanda Sho Love. I'm the host of the Sho Love podcast. I have always been a psychic intuitive, former intuitive consultant to hedge fund managers and the lot. I am here today to talk with Third Generation Conjure, Sade. She's here with us today to discuss spiritual healing. Welcome, Sade.
Thank you. Hey, everybody.
Thank you.
So, I don't know most of the people that I see. I know you guys, but I'm gonna just give my introduction. So, my name is Sade. I am part owner of Third Generation Conjure, and we are a spiritual company that specializes in spiritual supplies and services catered to the practice of hoodoo and conjure work. And I do want to just say that I'm so honored to be here to speak with you guys, and I really want to thank Sho and Dana for helping me do this clubhouse. I've actually met these two wonderful women through actually running this company, and
Yeah.
Sho is actually like my own personal intuitive business coach, and Dana, she's a amazing actress and author. So I really appreciate you guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here with us. So today's topic is spiritual healing. Sade, what can you, like if for a newbie, like someone who is new to all of this practice, a spiritual practice, how would you describe spiritual healing and the benefits of that?
Well, spiritual healing is healing by spirit and energetically. Okay, so, and it's not just in this practice where you will see spiritual healing. It's actually across many different practices that do spiritual healing. You know, you'll see it through Reiki and all other kind of practices, but it's basically the process of using spirit and energy to heal yourself and heal yourself from past traumas and any type of energy that may be affecting you in your life, whether that is conscious or subconscious. Because a lot of times we have a lot of past traumas that affect things that are going on in our life that we may not even know about. But everything is energy and everything is spirit. And a lot of times when your spirit is damaged and is not healed, then you'll see those things manifest physically, with your body and even within your life. And, some of the benefits of doing spiritual healing, like I say, I don't say that I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying that, you shouldn't see like your regular doctor, but everything starts within, so, when you do spiritual healing, I have done spiritual healing with people who've had, serious illnesses. And I have seen manifestations with that. But, when you go through a spiritual healing process, you'll have more inner peace. You'll have more clarity. You'll have more energy physically. You'll have more motivation. You'll see like a reduction in pain if you experience like pain in the physical body. But, even with that, I want to talk about the downsides to that. And I don't know if we want to wait for that or you want me to go ahead and go into it, Sho?
You could definitely go into it for sure.
Okay, so, when you're going through a process where you are trying to spiritually heal, one thing about it is you may have past issues that come up that you have to address in order to heal. It's kind of like what people look at as shadow work. Okay, and shadow work is basically doing work to address those shadows, address childhood trauma, things that you've been through in your life, and it can be really emotional. So sometimes when you're doing spiritual healing work, you may have things that come up, those past traumas that you have to address in order to heal from it. So don't be surprised if you go into spiritual healing work and you have some emotional things that are going on.
So tell me, what's the difference between, because we did an unhexing talk before. Mm-hmm. So what's the difference between unhexing and spiritual work, the spiritual healing?
The unhexing are, what we call in this practice uncrossing. That is used to get any kind of negative and stagnated energy off of you. Now, a lot of times when you do uncrossing, it will remove that energy, but you may still have some things that are lingering because you haven't addressed things that have gone on in the past. And like I said, a lot of things that may be in your subconscious, some things that you need to address. So right. A lot of times when you do uncrossing work, you will see manifestations in your life. You'll see things improving, but sometimes you need to go a little bit deeper because sometimes it's deeper traumas that you need to address. So it's going to kind of uncross things on the top layer, but spiritual healing is just going a little bit more in depth and, trying to figure out what it is that is, still a trauma in your life that might be affecting. If you went through some sexual abuse as a child, that may be affecting your relationships that you have.
Sure.
So it's a matter of addressing that to heal so you can see the manifestation in your life.
So spiritual healing is a much deeper work. I mean, as you said, everything happens on an energy level anyway. Any physical illness, it begins on an energetic level. So I can see how doing spiritual work can could address that. How do you know? So how would someone know that spiritual healing would be for them? I know you're having a spiritual ritual coming up on, was that April 10th?
Yes, April 10th.
So this is a group spiritual healing that you and your company, Mama Conjure, everybody's joining in to do a group spiritual healing. Who would be a good candidate to join in on that?
Anyone who is just feeling a lot of stagnation in their life, or anybody who's going through things such as like depression, because a lot of times it'll manifest itself in psychological ways, emotional ways. If you don't have, a control over your emotions,
sure.
If you just, if you're foggy brained, if you have physical ailments. Even if you got like minor aches and pains when you get up in the morning, like I'll give you a story. Like I have an aunt, and she actually doesn't know. She's farther on down the line. She's like a great aunt, but she doesn't know that we run this company. She really doesn't know that I practice. But she was actually diagnosed with leukemia, right? So I started doing some spiritual healing work on her, and she actually had to come to our city because we're like one of the top hospitals in Birmingham, UAB is. So she actually had to come down for some cancer treatments. So, she wouldn't be apt. She's really big in the church, so she really wouldn't be apt if I said, hey, use the spiritual healing oil or burn this candle. She wouldn't have done that. So at that time, it was like peak when COVID first started. So she was looking for hand sanitizer. So like my mom is like a prepper, so we had tons of it.
Okay.
So we actually gave her like a bottle of hand sanitizer, and I had her put some of the oil in the hand sanitizer. So every time she used it, she would get some on her. But fast forward months later, she had to come back for like a bone biopsy. And when she came back for that biopsy, they told her that they're not even sure why she was diagnosed with leukemia because they saw no signs of leukemia in her body.
Interesting.
You know, so it's just, and I was constantly doing healing work for her.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's going to be the case for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I just know it was something that's not explainable to the logical mind.
Right. So if you know you had some childhood trauma, or even, what about generational curses? Could this tackle some of that?
Exactly. Yes. So, you know, I even did a video on YouTube, and I that was the reason why too. Like even in that video I did on spiritual healing, I added the generational curses and blockages. So you can use spiritual healing to heal your bloodline. So if it is something going on, maybe some traumas that happen, you know, throughout your bloodline, and that energy is just being passed down from generation to generation, you can use spiritual healing for that. But it is very important that you have a relationship established with your ancestors prior to, because they are going to be the key to healing that bloodline.
Wow, that's amazing. That's truly amazing. So, I would love to open up for questions. Dana, are you ready to see if folks have any questions for Sade today?
I am. If you make me a moderator, I can help kind of filter.
Oh, I haven't
So I
done
can
that.
pull people up for you.
Oh my
I know you're
goodness.
focused on recording too.
I'm
Hi everyone, if you are just coming in, we're talking about spiritual healing, and we're about to get into some Q&A regarding the group ritual on April 10th that Third Generation Conjure is having, as well as just general questions that you may want to ask. There is no question that is too small. Don't feel dumb. If you're a total newbie and have basic 101 questions, feel free to raise your hand and ask.
great. I made you a moderator, so I am backing out. Take it away, Dana.
I see family in here. I know I have a question. I'll kick it off. I came across someone this past weekend that made me think about, are rituals like this, or even just your services, even products, can you use your services for other people? Like if you're starting to see that there's some healing needed in someone else, like I witnessed a total breakdown in someone the other day, and I was like, whoa. And I know that person is not here with us as far as being aware that there is some work that could be done, that they could do.
Right. Yeah. Just like I said, I do healing. I do a lot of work for people that don't even know what I do, and they don't even know that I work. So most definitely, you can do this kind of work, or even have us do this kind of work for someone that you see that is going through a difficult time. So most definitely, and it's actually like I tell people, even with our ritual, you know that you're in this ritual when you sign up for it. So I say, of course, do your cleansing, do your offering. But even if I was signing someone else up for it, I would still, do my offering to my ancestors to help them out. And I give an offering to my ancestors on behalf of everyone that I ever do work for. So I think sometimes it's really beneficial too when a lot of times people don't know that you're doing work for them, especially if they're not open to it. And that way you can minimize them having any kind of blockages as to, what's going on. So most definitely you can, use it for somebody else. And I have a lot of customers who actually do that.
I have a question. What sort of signs, like, once the work is done, what could someone expect, sort of, as a result?
Well, I actually had one of my customers write me the other day. Okay, so like I say, I light the candles when I tell you guys I'm starting a ritual, but I start my rituals, I might start them 2 weeks before the actual ritual, So a lot of people may see the effects of it before I actually post the ritual on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Like I had one customer who told me she signed up for the ritual, and she wrote me an email and said that she was in her shower, and she was just thinking about all kinds of things that she had been through in the past, and it just hit her all of a sudden, and she just broke down crying. But she told me, like, after I went through that whole spiel of crying and letting all of those emotions out, she felt 100% better. So like I said, sometimes it can be emotional because you may start thinking of past things and, things may come up. So, you may feel emotional. Not everyone's going to feel emotional. Some people may feel more energy. They may just see things clearer. They may have more motivation and more drive behind them.
You mentioned blockages. Like, if you're doing work for someone else, even for yourself, you want to speak more to blockages? I think that's so important when you're starting out this work.
Yes, so blockages are because one thing about it, I can work for everyone in this room and I can do work for you every day, but your energy and your spirit is going to affect the work as well. And that's even when you're getting into, using anyone's products or anything, using our product, your energy is going to affect that work. So if you go in, an example of like a blockage. So if I just buy a product and I say, I'm just going to see if it works, I'm creating a blockage already. When I buy that product and when I'm fixing to do my work, I know that it's going to manifest and I know that it's going to work. So that's a blockage that you may not even think about. So a lot of times people, they will create blockages themselves. Like a lot of times when I do work, even when I do work for customers, I never really tell them when I start their work, and that's because of blockages, because we automatically go out and we start looking for results as soon as we light the candle, or whatever kind of work we're doing. I might light a money candle and then in the next 5 minutes, I'm checking my bank account and I'm looking for some money coming in it. And I'm not even letting it unfold and let spirit even do their thing. I'm already putting blockages in their work. Like, I'll give you an example, and this is not spiritual healing, but I had someone reach out to me. A guy, he was actually, he's actually young. I think he's a teenager, and he's actually in like a detention center. And he reached out to me and he sent me an email. And he was like, I really need your help. Like, they are picking with me here and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, well, how did you get my information? So he said, well, my mom actually buys a lot of things from you. So I asked him, I was like, well, I'm not going to tell your mom. He was like, he didn't want his mom to know. So I said, well, I'm not going to tell your mom. What's your mom's name? So he gave me the name. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know who she is. So I actually started work for him. And I never told him I started. I just said, hey, I'm going to do something for you, but I didn't tell him when I started. So come to find out, I guess they're not supposed to have a cell phone in this facility. So his girlfriend actually was the one that reached out to me, and she was like, his cell phone got taken. Is that normal? And I was like, yeah, if it's a distraction, that's pretty normal. So about a couple days later, she wrote me and was like, he's getting out. Can you do some work for us? Because I wanted to make sure it go through. And I'm like, girl, I started at work a week ago when he wrote me. So, that's a way that you can create a blockage in the work, because you're sitting here and you're worrying about it, when I was like, the reason why he's getting out is because I started this work for him last week. So that's why a lot of times, like I say, it's sometimes best not to tell people when you're starting their work, because they will put those blockages and that energy into their work because they're like such in a desperate and lack state.
I love it. I started at work already, girl. We do have a question. I just pulled Francine up. I feel like I remember you from the last time having a really powerful testimony. So I'm looking forward to your question or comment. Please unmute yourself and
I actually had a question. Okay, so that you're saying all this, like, I guess it has been a little bit that different emotions have been coming up, and I know I'm like, dang, Sade, and it's happening because of her. I'm like, I know, like, all these emotions and all this past stuff. I know it, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm working through it, and then like, here comes Easter. We weren't planning on doing anything, but my sister came and my family came, and I don't really speak to them. And then it was like, usually we just walk right past each other. But here she comes to tell me hi, and I was so stuck. I told her hi, but I really didn't want to tell her hi. And so like, she thinks okay. Look, I don't want to forgive her yet, but it's just because.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was thinking, like, does it even matter? Like, I mean, now that you're saying that, I guess it.
Well, if you are in the process of healing, then one thing about it is that includes anger too. So if you're holding like some kind of resentment or anger towards your sister or anybody else, you'll see that lift too. Like, I'm not as angry at them. I'm not angry at them at all. You know, and even with healing in general, I tell people, like, a lot of people do work, or they have us do work, and they will see it manifest with people that are around them. Okay, so you know, you doing healing work, it could be healing things that's going on within your family.
Yeah, because they were all saying, well, not that they were all saying sorry, but they were all speaking to me, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
that's weird. Yeah, I was like, that's weird. I know today sent you. No, but so I guess, yeah. Well, that was it. I just wanted to know if I was blocking my own self, but because I guess, like, looking at it, it wasn't a big deal. It's just my stubbornness. Yeah. So I guess if just let it go.
You can't be a bitch in this moment.
Yeah. All right. Okay then.
I tell you this, Sade is an Aries. So when you come up here and ask a question, be prepared to hear the truth.
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't want to like get over it, but I'm just, I guess I'm just blocking myself. When you guys said that, I'm like, okay, that was for me.
Yeah. Get over it.
Yeah, it's all 4 years ago. I'm like, fuck you. All right, I'll get over it.
Anybody else got any questions?
Thank you, Francine. I wanted to just say something real quick. I think that's very important to share. You know, when you start doing healing work and the work starts healing you and healing situations, just say amen. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, that's it.
This is what we're putting our energy into and our focus into. We're focusing on healing. And to hold some type of grudge or some type of anger towards someone else, that's taken away from us. So the healing is for you. It's for you to be able to see someone that did you so wrong. Maybe they did hurt you as a child. Maybe they did, victimize you or in some way at your job or something. But at the end of the day, the healing, the spiritual healing is for you to get over it so you can become your greatest self, in my humble opinion.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, let's get some more questions.
I can say it better.
Yeah, let's get some more questions. Do we have any more questions here? Dana, I'm sorry. I'm going to get out of the way.
No, we needed to hear that. I actually needed to hear that today for myself, too. Anyone else have any questions, comments, wonderings? Sade, what else can you tell us about what it takes to prepare for Ritual Day? Since you already addressed that, you kind of get things started before you post at 6:30 p.m. or whatever you say. When you say you're lighting everything up, but what kind of things can, in the days ahead, even not just as specific as the bath, and what kind of mindset do I want to move into? What kind of practices do I want to start?
You most definitely want to take you a spiritual cleanse, and you don't have to wait until the day of. You can do it a couple days prior, because like I said, I never tell y'all really when I'm gonna start it. So yeah, making sure that you are spiritually cleansed. Also, getting in that mindset that this is what you're wanting to accomplish, and that's with any ritual. Okay, so even if that means that you have to go into something like meditation to get your mind right, because with spiritual healing you're going to change. Like Sho was saying, letting go of past transgressions so you can physically heal. So you have to be ready and prepared for that. So also, talking to your ancestors, putting up an ancestor offering on your altar. That's another way that you can prepare for it. But I think it's just more so being mentally prepared is key, most definitely. Spiritually cleansed, mentally prepared, and, just have a discussion with your ancestors as well. Because they, my ancestors work, but you guys' ancestors work too. Because, mines are not just going to do everything for everyone. So your ancestors are at play as well.
Any psalms you want to direct us to for this particular ritual?
My personal favorite psalm for spiritual healing is Psalm 6. And you can read the whole entire psalm. I'm not going to give you a verse, but Psalm 6 is one of the most powerful ones I have seen for spiritual healing. And I know some people are not comfortable with the Bible, you know what I'm saying, since they're getting into spirituality, but I will say that this practice utilizes the Bible and is very powerful when you use it for particular purposes. But yeah, Psalm 6 is most definitely my go-to.
And Sade, I just want to bring up something you mentioned to me today. I know I had a question. I hit your DM on Instagram. Something you said to me, like this practice, which is, we're discussing spiritual healing via the practice of hoodoo. And something you said to me, like this is to improve your life. Like this practice is to improve your life. And making it more about yourself and your healing, like this is a great place to start, I would say, on spiritual healing, like the spiritual ritual that you guys have coming up April 10th. Because without healing all of that, the generational trauma, all of the old baggage, whatever you're trying to create, like it's going to be a little harder to, it's, you may get it and then you may lose it. There may be something in that deep trauma that even though you may manifest something or you may create something, that trauma may cause you to not hold on to it. So I think looking at the spiritual aspect of any type of practice, any type of spiritual practice, like you've said before, this is a way of life. This is not something, we're in an age where people are like, oh yeah, we want to, manifest where the money resides, ching, ching, ching goes the money tree, all that good stuff. It's all wonderful and beautiful. But if you do not get to the root of, what is holding you back on an energetic, spiritual level, any sort of trauma, not just in this life, maybe even like past life traumas, who knows?
Right. Exactly.
The question for me is, how free do I want to be? It's not about, oh, let me get this man, let me chase this job, let me get this car, let me have this, Louis Vuitton bag. All of that is beautiful. And, that to me is like icing on the cake.
Exactly. And when you are spiritually aligned and you get yourself together spiritually, then manifesting all of that other stuff is not going to be a problem. And that's why, me, I talk about the process all day long. Like, that's what I talk about. I call it the process. Because I posted something saying, sometimes smaller steps are better than big leaps. Because, you have people that come into the practice and, as soon as they come in, they don't have any taking a spiritual cleanse. They jump into, money work, or they jump into some love work, or they jump into some baneful type work, some crossing work. And that's not what it's about. It's about improving yourself, but you also have to follow steps. So you can't expect as soon as you get a money candle that money's just going to fly out the sky. Because, like you said, sometimes you have to go through something deeper. Like, you may start doing money work, but maybe you got something generational going on where you can't even, nobody in your family can keep hold of money, or you might get it in, but it's gone as soon as you put your hands on it. You get a lump sum of money and your car break down or something, and a lot of times that's because you need uncrossing, you need healing, you need cleansing. So it's best to take it step by step. And once you, like you said, once you are aligned spiritually and everything is good with you spiritually, then it will manifest in your physical reality. You'll manifest that car and that Louis Vuitton bag and that big house and that, multi-million-dollar business, but you have to take it step by step.
just heard something, which was to myself about just really appreciating those little small manifestations you see, and not expecting everything to be such this big windfall of, like Sho was always saying, where the money reside, like appreciate those small signs and those small connections, getting closer to your ancestral line, starting to hear things and have more clarity. The more you recognize those smaller things, I feel like that's when the bigger manifestations really show up, and you can do something with them. Because sometimes, like you said too, things will show up, but you're still not really clear and free to move about the country.
you're not where you need to be. Like I know a lot of people come into this practice for financial reasons. Just like I have people come in and they're like, with anything you do, you got to put work behind it. That just is what it is. Nothing's gonna always just fall in your lap. So like, even people coming in, they may be like, I hate my job, and I want to do something else, but I really don't know what I want to do. And I tell people, and they go through the process, and I tell them, like, look, when you get where you need to be spiritually, you'll have so many ideas on ways like that you can make money that it'll make your head spin, that you can't even put it all in. You can't put it all into motion. Like I have so many ideas, and my mom was like, because I like my brain moves 1,000,000 miles per minute. I'm like, I got this idea, and then she's like, Sade, you ain't even finished those readings out there. Like, go finish your tarot readings first before you come in here with ideas. So, that's just how it works. And then spirit, it just opens stuff up for you. And like you said, those ancestors, they're so important because they're going to guide you, and they're going to send you signs. They're going to send you dreams. They're going to just send you gut feelings, and they're going to send you people that's going to get the message across. So that's really, really important.
That was Sho for me. We have Kiki with a question or comment. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question for Sade or Sho. You there, Kiki?
Y'all taking questions now?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to say, oh my goodness, I love my third Generation Conjure products. I love every single product that I have. I just started using the Jezebel and the foreplay. I like that one. But I want to ask you, I hear you keep saying when you're spiritually aligned, like how would a person know when they're already there?
You will know because you can you'll just feel it, and it's a feeling that I can't really explain, but you'll get signs. Like, even if you, let's say you like riding down the street, right, and you look at a tag and it's like a number that just stick out. It don't have to be like a 222555, but it's just a number that sticks out to you. So maybe you go to Google and you look it up, and then it's like exactly what you're going through. You'll have dreams with different messages, and you'll be able to decipher it without having to get on Google and try to figure out what this dream means. You'll also have it to where you will manifest effortlessly. And sometimes you don't even have to light a candle. Like I was looking at a car, and it was like a car. I was like, ooh, I really like that car. And then I thought about it, and I was sitting in my driveway, and the same car rolled down the street. I didn't get it, but I manifested that, because as soon as I thought of it, the same as that car, same as that color, rolled down the street, and I've never seen this person in this neighborhood. So you'll just see things like that where you can just manifest things effortlessly. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It can just be little things like, I want some coffee, and then somebody comes to your desk and say, hey, you want some coffee? So you'll recognize it when you get to the maximum of being spiritually aligned. And I hope I made sense what I just said.
You did, because when speaking of numbers, there's always certain numbers that I see. And my birthday is actually 2 master numbers, 1122, and that's a number that I've been seeing a lot last year, but not so much this year. But I still have been trying to decipher, like, why have I been seeing my birthday But when my birthday came, like, it didn't feel like anything changed, because I don't know if that's what the numbers probably was meaning, like something is supposed to change for me on the time of my birthday. But I'm still unsure about why I was saying those dates. I'm saying not those dates, but those.
I've seen that number a lot too, and usually when you see that number, it's like it's just telling you that you're on the right path, that you're going down the right road. So just keep, doing what you're doing and keep going.
Okay. Do you do those type of readings? With numbers, like numerology readings?
I you know what? I do, I practice what I practice. I do look into other things. I learn about different things like numerology. I'm actually getting into astrology now. So I'm not going to say, like, no, I don't do it right now. I just do messages from spirit. But, maybe in the future when I learn how to do birth charts and all that other kind of stuff, I might dabble into that later on. But right now, yeah, I self-educate, but I don't really get into a lot of like numerology, astrological type things right now.
I'm really glad you asked that, Kiki. Maybe to reset the room a little bit, if you could top line the services or top services that you offer at Third Generation Conjure, and where to find you, how to find you, all of that good stuff.
Okay, well, we do offer different spiritual supplies, such as conjure oils, candles. We have different baths, soaps, a lot of different stuff on the site. We also offer spiritual services. So the spiritual services include like your tarot readings, also any kind of like setting of lights, and that's just work that we do on our end. And also what we're talking about now is our group ritual that we have coming up, which is on April the 10th, and it is spiritual healing. And you can find us on our website, which is www.thirdgenerationconjure.com. And I do want to say, like, this ritual, like, we've had a lot of people sign up, so we're probably going to cut it off tomorrow, probably about 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to get in on it, that'll be the cutoff date. But also the people that have already signed up, make sure that you guys send over your petitions to us with your order number. And I did set up a separate email. I put it on the site, but, people still, it doesn't matter what email you send it to. But for the petitions, I tried to separate it because it gets, like, oversaturated in our other emails. And that's thirdgenerationpetitions@gmail.com.
Perfect. I'm glad you mentioned petitions. For me and everyone, tell us what makes a good petition, especially if you're just starting out and don't even really know much about what petitioning means. Give us a little guidance on that so we can be ready for Saturday's ritualism.
Okay, so a general, when I talk about petition, that's like my number one question I get is petition. So I did say what I'm going to start doing at the start of the month. Anybody that's on our mailing list, I'm going to send like a general petition, and you guys can word it, the way that you want, or tweak whatever you want, but just something starting out to get you started. But a general, petition, a good petition is to write it like in the present term. So even if you wanted to address it to your ancestors, spirit guides, source, you could write something like, dear ancestors, spirit guides, source, I am grateful that I am healed from all past traumas. I am attracting healthy relationships in my life. I am healthy. I'm abundant mentally, physically, spiritually, and whatever else that you want to add to it. So if you want to add like some particular traumas into it, you can do that too. But that's just a general rule of thumb is to make the petition in the present term.
I saw something today that you posted too about, yes, right in the present tense, but it's also a matter of like managing our expectations and not being overly demanding of our ancestors and guides.
Yes.
Tone matters, if you want to speak to that a little bit too.
Yeah, I did make a post, and the example that I gave was I see a lot of people that come in and they're demanding something from spirit. Like, you never demand, because they don't owe you anything. You know, your ancestors are always going to be there to guide and assist you, but the extraness, they don't owe you that. You know, so when you coming in, like the example I got was, if you went to a store and someone on the street asked you, hey, could you please give me something? Could you please give me some money so I can get something to eat? I'm hungry. More than likely, with that approach, you're probably going to feel like, okay, if I got it, I'm going to help that person. But if that same person walked up to you and said, give me some money now so I can get something to eat, you probably going to say, get out my face. You know, I'm not giving you no money. You know, that's the approach. Like, they're demanding that from you when you're not even obligated to give them any money. Or, like I said, even like when you get into petitioning for things that might not even be in your best interest. Like, I see it a lot of times in love work. People trying to do love work on somebody who's not even beneficial. And your ancestors, they're going to look out for your best interest. So when you see your work not manifesting, it's not in your best interest. But like I gave an example with that. Sometimes they may give you a little bit of what you want so you can get a taste of it and maybe learn a lesson. Like the example I gave was the same thing. If someone walked up to you and said, hey, could you give me some money? I just want to buy me a beer. Would you give them money? You may give them money just because they came to you honestly and told you what they were going to do. But then if you think about it, you're like, that's not good for him. He looked like he already, you know, is going through a hard time. He doesn't need alcohol. I'm not going to give him money. So that's just a general example, because I like to put it into real life situations of the ways to approach your spirits and ways to approach your ancestors. You never want to come in a demanding type manner. You know, it's okay to ask them, like, I asked you to guide me. I asked you to assist me.
Very cool. Do we have any more questions? I just want to reiterate the spiritual healing ritual that I am definitely looking forward to. Dana, are you joining us for that one?
I sure am.
Awesome. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready to break. You know, Sade, you know me. I am all about breaking these generational curses. I don't even know how many I got, but however many there are, I'm breaking all of them.
And I know you're going to be real particular in your petition.
You know it. I'm starting mine right now.
I got to be honest with y'all. I hadn't really thought through that this is good work for generational curses and trauma. Like, I'm about to really meditate on some shit tonight. I'm about to get that petition ready.
Yeah, and I also like to see like healing spaces. Like, I look at my relationship space, my money space, my job space, you know, like, because everything has its own energy, right? Everything has its own frequency about it. So even if people don't have, you know, lucky for them, if they don't have any trauma, so that they, you know, that they, you know, aren't burdened with, you know, just, you know, if your money's a little funny, heal my money space, you know.
Exactly.
Or heal my, if there's a person at work that you're having a difficult time with, heal that relationship. You know, I can't tell you how many jobs I've left because some toxic individual. I mean, if I'd known about this work before, I could have just healed that space.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Sho, because like I have people too that they automatically, like even with the relationship, you know, say you're with someone and you're going through some things and you guys not seeing eye to eye, you know, some people like, okay, I want to go ahead and jump into some come to me boy or something like that.
Sure.
And that's really not what you need to be looking at. You need to be looking deeper and you need to be healing that relationship.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes, you know, unconventional things, you know, it's unconventional ways. You may think this is what you need to do, but you need to go a different direction. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if, you know, you have struggling relationship with a sibling or a parent for whatever reason, this is the perfect work to have done. And, you know, the group settings are, for me, I mean, I love them just because I feel that the more attention, the more eyes on something, the more energy it has. You know, like a collective healing for me is more powerful than just me just sitting home healing myself.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So I love these group rituals. Does anyone have any other questions? Are we about to wrap it up? Just know that you can find Sade. Let them know where you can find. They can find you again, and how to sign up for this spiritual healing ritual.
You can sign up on our website, and that is www.thirdgenerationconjure.com. And you can also find us on Instagram, which is Third Generation Conjure, and like us on Facebook, which is also Third Generation Conjure as well. And Sho is recording this for me, so I really appreciate that. So, once she gets everything together, I'll be making sure that I put this on our YouTube as well.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. And if we don't,
and tell them about your podcast too.
yes, if you you can find me on Spotify. I'm also on Apple Podcast. It's called the Sho Love Podcast, and I talk to various unique and amazing individuals like Sade, like Dana, who are doing wonderful things in the world. Just some fascinating people that I've met along the way. I used to work in film and television, so I have quite an eclectic network. And I've worked in healing and meditation for decades. So I just, reach back into my network and have people come and talk to me about some really cool things. And it's called the Sho Love Podcast on Spotify. And I want to let Dana talk about her book that she's releasing before we go as well.
Speaking of healing,
yeah.
My own healing. I wrote a book, a collection of poems about love. It's called Cries from Quarantine, Poems About Love. I put that together during quarantine. It's a collection of poems that I accumulated probably over a period of about a year and a half, 2 years though, that I really think of them as my journal. It's been a big part of my healing and transformation over the last year since we moved into this strange pandemic COVID situation. And I also, out of that, created a spoken word album called CFQ, the Gallery Remixes. And if you're interested in kind of seeing a little reflection of your own relationship and love and familial experiences written in prose and poetry rhymes, you can check out Cries from Quarantine on Instagram. You can follow me at Cries from Quarantine, or you can follow me as a personality. I'm a writer, actor, and more at They Call Me DNA. But that's my passion project. Shalonda has been graciously involved in it and launching it. It was released last Tuesday, March 30th, so please dig into it. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed in reading some poetry about love. You will definitely find yourself inside of my own healing and transformation.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sade, for joining us and sharing all of your wisdom and love. And I encourage everyone that joined us today to check out the spiritual healing on April 10th. Thank you so much, Diane, Amber, Tyler, Jennifer, Sade, Alexandra, Francine. Thank you all. You're so amazing. Please follow us and we'll follow you. But I'll follow you back. I can't talk for anybody else.
I will too.
But if you follow me, find me and I will follow you back. Just let me know that you were here on Clubhouse. Check with us next month with the next month ritual. We will be back to discuss that ritual. And thank you all. Be blessed. We love you. And we thank God for you for being here. Thank you so much. Be well.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.